Let's talk about how we farm energy links. This is this game's main currency in terms of like buying and purchasing things. Also required for fast traveling, crafting, and pretty much everything that it is that you want to do. Got a few different methods just in case people are at different stages of the game. I basically recently ran out, so you can see this has been me kind of farming things up just about half an hour. I found a couple of methods. Method number one, this is available to anybody. Method number one is to create ingots. Early on, copper is the easiest ingot to get, but it is a bit annoying early on to use ingots for farming as a raw resource, just because you're going to have to get copper. If you don't have electricity yet, you're then going to have to get trees, burn the trees, and then make yourself the copper ingots. But they do sell okay. We'll look at all of the different prices once we reach a shop. But one thing that you can be starting on is copper ingots. Now, I don't think this is worth it until you reach steel, just because you are going to get significantly more. And we'll take some with us once we go to the shop at the end of this, so that you can see the main difference. This works best once you have access to electricity, because now you can do it much quicker without having to go and mine a load of trees, so you can chop trees down so you can have charcoal to make your ingots. Not a bad option if you're really desperate and you're early in the game. You can be using that, but I don't necessarily recommend it unless you spent all of your links on something and you just need to kind of fix yourself up until you're moving forward. Option number two, and this is available to everybody, but is going to be dependent on the specializations that you've picked. There's not much I can do to fix if you haven't picked any of these, but they are very strong for the specific role of making energy links. They also give you good passives. So you can see I've got these two orange items in my inventory here. I actually re-rolled one of my abilities to get the chef's knife because I needed to check if they sold for the same. The explosives one I actually really like because it means when we're using grenades, we're able to get some of the materials back so we can keep making grenades. I actually picked this one, unironically. This one I re-rolled for, which I'll probably get rid of, but I don't have the item to re-roll it right now. These are chosen in your specializations as you level up. And if you want one specifically for making money, the way that you can tell that it's going to be one of these items is when it says when this item is in your backpack. So I've got two of these. As you're leveling up, make sure you keep an eye out for these. If like a group of them pops up that you really don't care about, but one of them is one of these, then it is a decent way for you to be making some energy or cash in this game so that you can be doing that. I'll show you when we get to the end in a minute, but basically these sell for 300 each. And if you look at the crafting requirements of either of those, they basically cost like nothing. It's 10 copper ore, so we don't even need to smelt it. We don't need to burn the wood, and you should be getting hide as you're going around anyway for the chef's knife. And the same thing again, it's copper ore, a bit of rubber, and a bit of adhesive. Both of these are just going to drop all over the place. So you can have these stacked up and building as much as you like, which is why I now have my intermediate supplies workbench and then the basic one. The basic one is basically going to be here creating money for me over time. I'll drop them in the large crate. When the crate's full, I'm going to go ahead and I'll sell that all in one go. Method number three is to run the silos. This is the first one here. This is Silo Sigma and is level 15. Running this nets you around 800 links each time. So you can go through there, grab some links. You'll also grab some materials as well. This is actually a pretty good way. And I'm going to suggest that if you are like really wanting to power this out, do multiple methods of this at once because you can, right? So you could set a load of stuff crafting, run the silo, come on back out. There's loads of storage chests and stuff in there, so that can keep you fueling your supplies workbench as you're creating the items in your inventory. And as well as that, you're going to get weapon mods. I think you can get like blueprints in there as well. I got some furniture blueprints in there. So you can spam out the silo. You don't need to wait for the chests to respawn. And each time you're going to get around 800 of the energy links at the end of the dungeon. All right then, so when you've got some items together that you want to sell, and note that it has to be the ingots, I'm pretty sure you can't sell the ores. You want to go to one of the settlements. So I'm going to be going to Mia's Market just because it's nice and early. You could go to Deadsville. Prices are the same in all the different markets, so don't worry too much about that. Head on over to one of the merchants. I'm going to use Nisa. She's got a really pretty pink head. Let's go ahead and look at sell. So don't know if you guys have seen this yet. Obviously, the game kind of doesn't necessarily say that you can sell. We're going to go over here. You see we've got materials, cost, whatever this is supposed to mean. I assume is consumables. And we have tools. We can see that one piece of steel is going to sell for 15. One piece of bronze is going to sell for 10. One piece of copper is going to sell for 4. I wouldn't even entertain the idea of doing bronze for selling because you're going to have to get copper, trees, and tin. Turn all that into bronze. That's just like, you might as well do copper. That's probably even going to be quicker than bronze. So I wouldn't even entertain doing bronze for money. But as you can see, steel, being as it is only a single resource, and by then you should have electricity, so you won't need trees. It's just going to be, but a lot quicker. So I just wouldn't bother using ingots until you reach steel. When it comes to the craftable items, though, what you can see here is, as I said before, these are 300 each. So these are great for selling. If you want to do this fast, you can see here, we can use S to select multiples. I could select all of this stuff if I wanted. Obviously, I don't want to sell all that. And then sell all that nice and quickly for 300 a piece. That's not even taking into account the difference in time, right? To do 99 of these, that's 5 minutes. To do 5 of these, that's also 5 minutes. These take a minute each, right? So 99 of those, let's have a look at the difference in total. I mean, I don't even have full. So let's estimate that's going to be about 1600 in 5 minutes, right? This is actually going to be 1500 in 5 minutes. So about the same in time, but overall much cheaper to produce and isn't going to take as much time in terms of gathering. And that should have your energy needs completely covered.